Hi, this is Danny Flexen here for SecondsOut.com, here with Don Charles, trainer of Dereck Chisora, Frank Buglioni, soon to debut son George, amongst others. Great to see you, Don. First thing I wanted to ask you, you've had Lucas Browne training at your gym recently, sparring with Dereck. Dereck is obviously coming back on the undercard of Lucas Browne's fight with Dillian Whyte on March 24th, which we're all looking forward to. How did that sparring come about? How was it arranged?
Obviously, I'm sure you're aware, Ricky Hatton, legendary Ricky Hatton, looks after Lucas Browne. I don't believe he trains him, I think, on the management capacity or agent. So he made arrangements to bring Lucas over for some sparring sessions with Dereck, which kind of initially I sort of, if you want to get some rounds, perhaps, because Dereck doesn't box like Dillian Whyte, so stylistically, I didn't understand why such a sparring session was needed for Lucas at this stage for the fight. But if you want to get some hard rounds, yes, for that reason, yeah. And
how beneficial was it on the other side for Dereck?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, it's quality sparring for us, you know. He's a very strong dude, you know. Lucas Browne, very, very strong physically, very strong, very robust. And, it was good. It went really well.
And without giving too much away, how fiery were the sessions? So, to give an example, some fighters and trainers like to do tech sparring, you know, work on certain shots, where others like it to be as close to a fight as possible. Where do you sit in that regard?
I mean, listen, Dereck, every trainer will, regardless, you stick to your own game, whether it's sparring or a fight. It's the same for us. It's the same approach. Obviously, we work on certain shots we want to throw. Keep to your style and box to your style, and let the other person dance to your tunes. That's how any sparring. That's how we approach it. And no difference between the sparring between Dereck and Lucas. It's exactly the same. We do what we do and let them dance to our tune.
And did Dereck come away from that with increased confidence? Obviously, he's been away from the very top level for a little while. He's been inactive as well recently. Did that give him increased confidence ahead of his comeback fight?
Well, it depends. And Dereck's a very confident guy, yeah? So it's quality sparring, and it's actually somebody who was on our radar, Lucas Browne, Dereck's radar. A few years ago, Dereck wanted to fight him. So to then be sharing a ring with him where, okay, that competition edge wasn't there, but they're still there. You know, they're two guys who, you know, I'm sure Lucas, the same way if you asked him, he would tell you, yeah, I believe I've got the beating of Chisora. So when they meet, whether, because it's just an aspiring environment, that there's a little bit of competition there as well, because neither guys want to lose. Even a sparring session, we don't want to lose a sparring session.
It's kind of an interesting development, given there's this kind of feud, some people call it, between Dereck and Dillian. We read recently that Dillian had texted Dereck offering him a spot on the undercard initially for the March 24th fight. So it seemed like there was some sort of rapprochement. They were going to maybe be friends again or whatever. But now we've found out that Dillian's opponent's got some much-needed sparring from Dereck.
Exactly,
so
yeah.
The feud lives on?
Well, absolutely. I mean, listen, if that's what you just said to me, it's first I've heard of it, that the fact that Dillian had offered Dereck a space on his undercard. Very nice of you. Thank you, Dillian. But listen, it's business. It's show business. I'm sure if there was a chance of Dereck and Dillian fighting again, I'm sure something will reignite that.
Those old feelings will come to the surface.
Most definitely.
Okay, and talking about Dereck's radar, as you were, we read recently that Carlos Takam may be a possible fight for May, not for the comeback fight, but for in May. How close or how likely is that to happen?
It's been mentioned. Nothing's been agreed. It's been mentioned. It's one of the options. We have other options.
Is it a fight you like, stylistically?
Not necessarily. It would be like two bulls, head-on collision.
Yes, it'd be great for the fans.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, listen, we need a fight. We need a real fight, and there's a few options at the moment. So we're looking at all of them.
Dereck obviously came up short in his last fight, Ajit Kabayel, for the European title. Kabayel was a bit of a mover, and it's not what was expected, having seen his previous fights, but he moved a lot in that particular fight. Does that make you want Dereck's next opponent to be more of a head-on, more of a straight lines kind of guy?
Listen, I'd like to believe with all the experience we've gotten over the years, Dereck the fighter, you can adapt. You have to be able to, at this level, you have to be able to adapt. When the guy changes his game plan you quite rightly noticed that Caballero didn't box to how we studied him. I studied all his fights prior to our one. On the night, he chose to run, which is very, very
intelligent,
smart of him.
Yep.
Yeah. I like to believe that we've got enough experience, Dereck the fighter, myself the coach, to be able to improvise on the night to meet whatever anyone brings on the night. So regardless of who we get given, what's to say that they won't change their way they fight?
The same way Caballero
Do you know what I mean?
did,
So
yeah.
really and truly, we want a real fight. Dereck needs a real fight. That's what he rises for. He wants a real fight to perform.
What's the route map back for Dereck? Is it going back to domestic level and building from there, or would that not motivate him?
Without sounding big-headed to all the up-and-coming domestic fighters, I'd like to think that Dereck has got enough still to be able to operate European/world, because he's already been there. He's already done the journey. He was European champion. He was denied of it first time of asking when he fought Hellenius. We won that fight. He was robbed. We were robbed. And then he fought Vitaly Klitschko, who was knocking at everybody at the time. And he went 12 rounds with Klitschko. So to come back to domestic level, his trainer, I can tell to the audience and all the people who are recently calling Dereck out, you've been making a massive mistake by thinking, yeah, he's short, he's lost it, right? But for us, we just need a real fight, like the names you're mentioning, for instance, who've operated at the level. I'd like to believe that we're at that level.
And in this heavyweight scenario that we have right now, someone like Chisora is really only one good win away from another world title shot.
Absolutely. But we have to start demonstrating that, yes, we should have done that in Monaco. We didn't. Given another chance, I believe Dereck has to deliver. He has to deliver.
And just before we round off, style-wise, do you think Dereck could be one of the more difficult challengers out there for Anthony Joshua? Just because he's constantly on your chest, he throws a lot of shots. Joshua doesn't always look great under pressure.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, we're not looking that far as yet because there's a big bridge to gap to one thing at a time, one step at a time. We've got to win any fight we get given on starting from the 24th, then on the 5th of May, if we get a real fight, win that, then we look at things, what comes after that.
Well played, is my answer to that one. Thank you, Don Charles. Always a pleasure.
Always.